Good morning, one and all. A few years ago, several now, I had a chance to hear Jim Lovell give his witness, give a talk on his life. Jim Lovell was an astronaut in NASA. He was part of the Apollo 13 crew that had major difficulty. They had to shoot around the moon and come back to Earth to arrive safely, thanks be to God. In the midst of his talk, in the midst of his telling his story, in the midst of being in that capsule with his three fellow astronauts and understanding what the danger that occurred, that he said, look, we had to make some choices. We had to think about what we can do to fix the problem. He said, in the midst of it, I thought, well, we need to make something happen here, or we can sort of just watch and see what happens, or wonder what happens. Thinking about that thought, reflecting on the life of Barnabas and Paul, as now they're going out in the Spirit to give witness, to Jesus Christ, to give witness to salvation, to give witness to the fact that Jesus didn't come to condemn the world, but to save the world. It gives us pause to think about our own life. Are we a witness of the workings of Jesus Christ, or are we an observer? A witness sees and sees and understands. An observer is looking more for details, is more on the sidelines. We need to be an active witness. We need to be right in there, in the thick of things. Each and every day, you and I, for the last few months, but many of us, who go to daily mass, we come before the altar. We gaze upon the salvation of the world. We gaze upon the Holy Host. And if you can imagine that Holy Host of sort of going into the host and seeing the passion of Jesus Christ played out, see how he healed the blind man, see how he relieved captives from demons, see how he raised up those who couldn't walk, see how he forgave sin, see how he died and rose on the third day. If we can do that, if we can use our imaginations for a moment and delve deeply into the mystery that we celebrate, we truly become transformed by what we witness. That's what Paul and Barnabas are doing. They're telling their story. They're giving their witness of how Jesus Christ changed their life. Literally, Paul is telling the story how he got knocked down so that he could see the light. Think about in our own lives. Are we making things happen because of Jesus Christ, or are we just watching things play out, or wonder what happened at the end? If you look on Facebook, I look at some of my friends and some of my true friends, and look at some of the pictures of what they're doing. There's a family that probably a few times a week they have different events, different family night events, and they're everyone around the table is maybe painting a picture or they're taking part in some kind of a game night. They're making things happen in the midst of this time. We are called to make things happen, to allow God to make things happen in our heart and allow him the freedom to do so that we can go, that when we break out of this time, and we will, when we break out of this time, we can truly be a witness of Jesus Christ. Sure, we hunger for the Eucharist. A friend of mine said to me a couple weeks ago, look, I don't ever want to forget this hunger. I don't ever want to forget this hunger that I have for Jesus Christ in the Eucharist, because I want to hang on to that hunger, and I want other people to hunger for Jesus Christ so that we won't forget, so that we can make things happen on account of him and not just sit and wonder, scratch our head, what's going on and where am I going to go? What am I going to do? What we're going to do is be like Paul and Barnabas, be sent by the Spirit. The Spirit who strengthens us, the Spirit who gives us life. After all, the amazing, incredible story of Jesus Christ isn't a story at all. It's everlasting life. Isn't that something we want to give witness to? The fact that he didn't come into the world to condemn the world, but to raise the world up, to save it. Whoever believes in me believes not only in me, but also in the one who sent me. What will we do today? Will we make things happen? Or will we just watch it? Or even more at the end, maybe at the end of our life, wonder what happened. In Jesus Christ, in this Eucharist, in this Word, let us make things happen on account of Christ, Jesus, who came to save us, to strengthen us, and to bring us home. Amen.